each team in their respective division. We're going to see, okay, what they need to fill, maybe even draft picks they need to get. So we're going to look at that for each division. This week, we're going to look at the NFC East. I'm going to start off with the Eagles first. I feel like that's the easiest one to do. And just looking at the list, Josh Sweat is going to be a free agent. Brandon Graham, it seems like he's going to retire. Zach Bond, free agent. Mekhi Becton, free agent. Avonte Maddox, free agent. Milton Williams, LaRaven Clark, Rick Levine, all these guys. Really. Nick Gates, Paris Campbell, Warren Burks, Isaiah Rodgers, Ian Book, Kenneth Gainwell. So, yeah, those are the free agents. And what we're going to be doing is just looking to, first, who they need to re-sign and what holes are they going to need to fill. Do they need to go to the draft to fill them or just go back to free agency and try to fill them? So, with that being said, the big names, Zach Bond, Brandon Graham, Mekhi Becton, Kenneth Gainwell, and Nick Gates. So, where are you with this? What do the Eagles, who should they try to go after to re-sign? And who do you think, what position could they just fill in the draft?
I think you can fill O-line in the draft. Linebacker, this is a pretty solid linebacker draft.
Zach Bond was the middle linebacker?
He was the interior linebacker.
Interior linebacker? Because he wasn't the pass, he wasn't the edge rusher, was he?
No, heck no.
He was just a coverage guy, right?
Yeah. I think he was I think they call him what doesn't matter what position.
Was he the Mike?
The mic varies depending on the play, so you can't really say, but he was the coverage back.
Yeah, he was coverage.
He was really good.
Yeah,
they should try to re-sign him, but they should have. I don't think they have to pay anybody after this year, as far as I'm concerned. So they could possibly re-sign him, but I think the consensus is that he's probably going to be on the open market. But I think you can address linebacker and the O-line in the draft. Everything else, Avonte Maddox. Isaiah Rodgers, he's okay. You got the young guys to step up and take that position. So they don't really have to re-sign much. Yeah, they got some free agents, but it's not like maybe try to look at kicker. Jake Elliott had a shaky year. You maybe have a contingency plan in case he stinks it up. Other than that, they don't really have to do. But they can address all their holes in the draft for the most part.
Right. I think a Zach Bond, I wouldn't resign because he's going to demand a lot of money.
That is true.
I know he was a defensive player of the year candidate, but yeah, he was. But
pro bag.
You look at Brandon Graham, he's going to be gone probably because it says his contract is void. I'm assuming that means he's going to retire or something like that. So and Josh Sweat, he's going to be. He wasn't really good for them anyway, but he was making $10 million a year. He's going to be gone. So you're losing 2 edge rushers and you're losing a coverage linebacker. This is the perfect draft to get some more linebackers, I believe. So they can go after an edge. They can go after a coverage linebacker and they'll be fine. And then remember, Nakobe Dean, I don't know if he played in the Super Bowl.
He was hurt.
But he was hurt, so he can step up for you. He was playing well for them as well. So even without Nakobe Dean, they were playing good. So I believe they can just use Nakobe Dean, fill him in, and then bring in somebody via draft because there's so many great linebackers this draft, so many great edges this draft that you can plug and play them and they'll be just fine. They did that with, remember 2022, after 2022, they couldn't re-sign some people. They were able to draft Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter, and they were able to fill that void eventually, and they won the chip because of it. So I think draft is important. I would re-sign Mekhi Becton because
he shouldn't be too expensive.
I believe with this draft, the tackle position, I just don't think there's as many good tackles.
Becton plays guard now.
He plays guard. Why do they have him at right tackle?
But he plays guard. He plays right guard, I want to say.
I would re-sign him. I think this draft is not too offensive line heavy in terms of the talent compared to the edge rushers and the linebacker position. So that's how I would go with it. The corner position,
I think
they have Cooper DeJean. They already have 3 decent corners. So I wouldn't think too hard on the corner position. You could always go late in the draft, plug and play. Kenneth Gainwell. There's a lot of great running backs this draft. So I think you can find a good backup running back for Saquon Barkley. But if Kenneth Gainwell, he was making like a little bit less than $1 million. If he's not going to go for much, then you could resign Kenneth Gainwell. But for the most part, I think they'll be fine. I don't think they, like you mentioned, they don't really need to do much to fill certain positions. It's just about what positions do you value more, that you want to pay, that you want to draft. And I feel like Mekhi Becton, you can resign him. So, yeah, man, the Eagles doesn't seem like it's too difficult. They have all the important pieces already signed on rookie deals. So, all right, and then we have the Commanders. The Commanders is a different story because Bobby Wagner is he's a free agent. Marcus Mariota, backup QB. Dante Fowler.
Jeremy Chin.
Mm-hmm.
Just let me be me.